Thank you very much, Chair, for giving me the opportunity. First of all, I have to say that I'm disgusted, I'm disappointed. I thought that you as a rural minister would do better and do more for farmers. Generally, at everything, they've been badly left down, Minister. And just to take this, we gave 800 years trying to get the British out of these lands, and there was blood spilt below there in the streets 100 years ago to do just that. And now the UK, a UK company trading in the stock market for 160 years or more are now coming in the back door and will get premiums, as I understand it, to help them with their venture. And I never see people so more angry than they are at the present time. Farmers are being castigated, they're being vilified every day of the week. They can't do this, they can't do that. You have loose vehicles up and down the street saying that anywhere along it, vilifying dairy products, and the whole loose train painted the full length of it, and now this on top of it. And you see, Minister, there's several things. The first question I'll ask you, do you think that this venture and this new departure will drive up the cost of land? Do you agree that it will?
Listen, I'm no expert on the cost of land, and there's certainly...
Yes or no?
There's certainly lots of...
Yeah, yes or no?
What I'd say, Deputy Healy-Rae, is, listen, what it is it's several...
I'm saying to you, I want an answer, yes or no. Do you think it will drive up the cost of land?
Well, what I'm saying to you is, I'm not qualified to answer that question. What I'm saying to you is that...
What are you qualified to?
This particular deal...
You won't answer the question. You're waffling all night here. I'm listening to all night last night. And I asked you a straight question. Yes or no, will it drive up the cost of land?
Well, listen, Danny.
To the honourable farmer.
Deputy Ray, you can go up.
He's not going to answer. He's not going to answer it, Chairman. I'll ask him another question.
You can go and ask an auctioneer that question.
Iran in recent times that farmers, if they want to stay farming at the level they're at, and if they want to keep the same amount of stock, that they'll have to increase their land area. How is this going to happen now? When this foreign outside investors are going to come in here and buy 100,000 acres of land? I mean,
700 hectares a year for the next 5 years. That's 700 hectares a year for the next 5 years.
Look, that's what he is saying. And then I'm asking you, Minister, there's a semi-state body. What role have you saw? Do the state have any involvement with them if they can go out and do something like this without discussing it with you? Have the state any involvement in it? Should the state were involved with Quilty going back the years always? What's your role so now? Had you any role to play in this? And I'll just add in another little question to that. Did they come and ask you, would they be entitled to draw down all the premiums? Or what premiums would they get before they concluded this deal?
It's well established that Kilsha themselves can't draw down premiums. Others can, but Kilsha can't. So there's state aid rules that apply there. Yeah.
But given the fact that the UK and even in Europe at the present time, did they not ask the question? Would they qualify for all the premiums?
So listen, I mean, the rules around premiums are published and well known, and all they used to do is look at the criteria as to how you go about doing forestry and how you can draw them down. So they wouldn't have to ask such a question. Nobody would, Danny or Deputy.
You know if this Gresham investors gone into any other countries in Europe?
I've no idea, Deputy.
So then, it's getting harder and harder for farmers to acquire land, even as it is. And there are people around now looking at lands. I have direct proof of this, asking if certain places are suitable for the hen area, or to be designated for the hen area. And we all know what that means, Chairman. If our lands are designated hen area, you can't plant them for forestry. You won't be allowed. So what I see this is another attempt, another block to condense the amount of land that farmers can acquire. And you said there a while ago, farmers will be more involved. How can they be more involved when they can't buy any more land? I mean, you can't just make land. God made that, whether people like it or not. That's what I'll say. And we can't make any more of it. But you said that farmers are going to be more involved, even though that land is going to be tighter to get now because of this. Explain how you said farmers will be more involved.
I think what I said is that farmers are going to be more advantaged by the premiums, is that because we're now giving in the new forestry strategy and premiums. Previously, whether you were a farmer or you were a non-farmer, you could get premiums for 15 years. So on the new premiums, which started from this month, farmers can get them for 20 years, as well as draw down their single farm premium on forestry land too. Whereas if you're a non-farmer, you can only get it for 15 years. So we're advantaging farmers through the premiums by giving them 1/3 more. And obviously, land is land. Nobody's making any more land. Obviously, farmers have land in the farmers farm the land and have family farms. What we're doing through the scheme and by advantaging farmers through the premiums we're putting in place, as we're trying to encourage and provide farmers the opportunity to, where they feel it appropriate and where they can, incorporate some forestry into their farm. And as I said earlier, the premiums for native leaf, for example, means that over 20 years of the premiums now, a farmer could get around €22,000 tax-free for planting a hectare of land in native trees, which I think would be very attractive to a lot of farmers.
Minister, I'm asking you at this late stage, will you reverse this decision and fund Oireachtas properly? Oireachtas did a good job back over the years and did good work and planted, and I worked in forestries back in my previous life. A great part of it, a great part of my time I gave in forestries, both private and Oireachtas. But if he funded Oireachtas properly, and if he were fair with the licenses and dealt with them in a reasonable amount of time, he would be meeting forestry targets. But I'm asking you now at this late stage, will you reverse this departure and stop it right now and nail it on the head? Because it is hurting so many people, and many people are anguished, and it is hurting our own people. It's hurting our own people in Kerry. It's hurting our own people in all up along the west, plantable land, and she's going, fellas, local fellas won't be able to buy it. The private foresters won't be able to buy it. They won't be able to compete.
Okay.
And I'm asking you the question: will you reverse it or will you not?
Okay.
As I've said, it's a legal contract which Oireachtas have entered into. Okay. And it's not for 100,000 hectares of land. That's their ambition now to 2050. What the legal contract they've entered into over the next 5 years amounts on average to buying 700 hectares a year for 5 years for afforestation. But they're legally contracted to do that. What I am doing and what myself and Minister Hackett have done is we're going to work with Oireachtas and have met them, and we'll be engaging with them to see how we can support Oireachtas in doing afforestation in terms of the state directly supporting them, and also enabling Oireachtas as well to partner directly with farmers to enable farmers to do more too.